you guys, I have to tell you, I normally don't address these type of things on my channel, but as of lately I felt like if Star Stable said something and finally said something, that I would say something. So Star Stable did, so we're gonna talk about it. I mean, after all, we do have a community to save. Hello, everyone. So, as you can see by the title, Star Stable is finally answering some of the biggest questions going on within the Star Stable community, which unfortunately started a hate storm. This was all caused by one video, and it just completely snowballed and started a whole bunch of just insanity and insane rumors, and Star Stable is finally addressing it all in their Q&A post, which I will have link up in the description. I will also have it down below in my description box. So it will be up in the right corner and it will be in the description box. So there you go. So I wasn't originally going to talk about this, just because I hate getting involved in drama. And this isn't really even about the drama. This is just verifying what Star Stable is putting out here in the community. And obviously trying to let everyone know. And just basically just clear the air. And hopefully we can get back to the normal community that I've always known and loved for the past, almost 10 years? It's going to be 10 years in November. So I'll be completely honest, if you guys know me from Instagram, I haven't been on. I actually took a long break because all of this drama started. And you know what? I just couldn't deal with it. I just completely shut down my Instagram. I am going to come back to it at some point until the community comes down. Once the community comes down, then I'll be back in full force on Instagram, but right now we are just doing YouTube, and so far it's been quite lovely. We all know why you're here. You want to hear from Star Stable, and I'm pretty much going to break it down step by step. I wasn't planning on getting up so early to do a video, but the community needs us and we need to save this community. So let's get started, shall we? So it is called Questions from Our Community. Hi Star Fam, we have seen some questions popping up in our social media channels, so we wanted to give you some answers to the most common ones here all in one place. What projects does Star Stable have besides the game? Pretty much everything we do is related to the game in one way or another, but it isn't always visible to the outside. Besides the scenes, we are working on all sorts of things besides the game design, maintaining and updating the technology which runs the game, finding and training new employees, supporting and building our community, updating our development tools, maintaining and improving existing features, and eliminating critical bugs from the game. So, if you all know the site Glassdoor, which I'm pretty sure you're all aware of, I looked into it, and I was able to make an account very simply. And if I can do that, can you imagine how many people that are fake doing this? Now, I'm not saying that all the reviews are fake. I'm not saying that. But what I am saying is that anyone can do it. And if anyone can do it, how do we not know if it was actually done by a Star Stable employee, or if it was done by someone who wants to start drama within the community? That's the boiling point. So, this is why I really don't pay attention to something if it's outside of the Star Stable realm. For example, like, if someone was working at Star Stable and they didn't like how it was being operated, in figuratively speaking here, I would expect that employee not to just to make a Glassdoor account and write a review. I would expect there to be a Reddit post. I would expect there to be a Twitter post. I would expect there to be a lot more outrage. Maybe not outrage, but a bigger, what's the word? A bigger platform making known about this company. And some employees might just want to leave one review, and that's fine. But that's very suspicious to me. Having a background in business, that it just there's something not right with that. So one of the things that was said in the reviews was that the Star Stable technology is outdated. Well, how can that be if Star Stable just said right here that they're constantly updating and maintaining the technology? So if they're updating the technology, they're using the most top of the line technology there is out there right now. So that's false. I can tell you that now. What was the other thing mentioned? Oh yeah, that they didn't want to update their technology. Well, that's kind of crazy because Star Stable is a developing company. So for them saying that there's no changes to the company when clearly there is, especially because it wasn't the next Wildwoods area update, it was the week before. And they took down the servers for a longer period to maintain all the servers. To fix anything, that's what they did. So that right there just proves that all out of the water. Granted, I'm not taking timestamps on what reviews were taken when, or were put on there whenever, but I do know that Star Stable, especially now with them saying this, it's up to date. So that just kind of blows that little review out of the water. Beyond that, we are always trying to find creative ways to explore the characters of Star Stable Online, and so far we have done this through books, comics, short stories, animations, and music. We have invested in new teams to work on these exciting things for us, so it doesn't take away any time or resources away from game development. Or our aim with this content is to bring Star Stable characters to life across many platforms and enhance the experience of our player community. So what they're saying here is basically every team on Star Stable is designated to something, and they stay designated to something. The horse team stays with horses. The book team stays on the book team. The comics stay on the comics team. The game design stays on the game design team. The quest lines stay on the quest line team. So what that's telling me is everyone's doing their jobs. So the crazy theory that Star Stable's not being committed to each side of their jobs is just insane. And that they're being occupied with all these sort of jobs. No, they're staying to what they're assigned to. So, again, theory blown out of the water. Alright, so number 2 is how does Star Stable balance horse releases with other content? We love horses and are proud to be the best of the few horse adventure games out there. We know that our community loves horses too, and we get so happy when we see our players get excited about our monthly horse release, and even favorites out of our 42 horse breeds and magical horses. So we have 42 breeds currently in game. Some of them are updated to the standard, some of them are not, but it's still, the number remains 42. Which is quite a lot of horse breeds if you think about it. But what they're saying here is that this is a horse game. Plain and simple, so horses are going to be a monthly thing. Unfortunately, And I don't think it's mainly the younger players that don't understand this. Star Stable has to make money in order to run. If they cannot make that money, that you can't get what you're seeing behind me. You can't get the quests. You can't get these gorgeous horses. You can't get these awesome pets. It's just it doesn't happen. And keep in mind they are a small company as well, which is said further down in the questionnaire here. I just haven't had time to get to that part. So I'm getting ahead of myself. Let's keep reading. But we know that the magic of Star Stable isn't about just getting to know a wide range of great horses. Jorvik is a big island with a long story full of magic and fun things to do. Always with your other friends in game. We are always working to give you new areas to explore, such as when we released Starshine Ranch, the western area, in April 2020, and more recently you got to see another brand new area, Wildwoods. But we know you may still have questions about what we are working on, so we will be regularly sharing more details from our roadmap to give you a sneak peek. So this is great. What Star Stable is basically saying is that they understand that there's a lack of knowledge coming from not knowing what's going to come out. And honestly, I would like to see what Star Stable is working on more. So I don't mind this, of them sharing more sneak peeks on what's to come. I think that's going to help the community out a lot. And I've noticed this year, and they said this in the comments, that they are announcing horse releases a month ahead of schedule. Specifically so people, if someone wants like a certain breed of horse, they know about it a month ahead and they can start saving up from that point. So it gives them more time to save, which is very smart to do. It's definitely a good business move on their part. So we will be finding out more of behind the scenes of what's going on. So that's great to know. Alright, so now's a question everyone wants to know. What is the status of the development around quests and the storyline? We know that many of our players have been keeping up and playing for the story for years now, and we want to see what happens next. We're excited too. We do have some upcoming twists in the plot and some old friends reuniting, including Fripp. So what that means is we are getting story quests. It's coming. They're working on it. It's more so the fact that they want to get this right. They don't want to just throw out anything and just let you be bored with it. They want to take their time with it, is basically what they're saying. But it is coming. That's what's important. Our team is always working on developing content and other fun things to do in game. We will always be working on it. But it takes many hours of work from multiple people on a team just to make 1 minute of gameplay. We aren't complaining, we love doing it. In recent months, we've had quests with many new characters, such as the Rangers of Redwood Point, the Wild Horse Herds, and Gary Goldtooth. But creating all of this takes a lot of time and consideration. Moving forward, we will be sharing more roadmap details regularly so you know what to expect, much of which is inspired by great feedback and suggestions from our player community. So what they're basically saying is, yes, they are listening to you guys. But, as I said before, first, they're always working on it. That's a boilerplate agreement. And that it takes many hours of work from multiple people on the team to make 1 minute of gameplay. So this means this takes time. And you know what? Honestly, I would rather have them take their time and make it perfect. Even if I had to wait 6 months to a year, that's fine. I'd rather have it perfect than something that's just done without a care in the world, like a lot of games are out there. And also this says that they are listening to us too. But this is pretty much what this whole thing has been about. Alright, so I lied. There's actually 2 more. There's 4 and 5. How does Star Stable respond on to your feedback and suggestions from your player community? We understand that some of our community believe we have not been listening lately, and we are very sorry to hear that. We are extremely grateful to have such passionate and engaged player community who loves the game so much. We always want to make sure we are doing our best to communicate with you, but we know we can do better. So what they're saying is they're admitting that they know that they can do better, and they're trying to. But you gotta remember something, we're kinda in a global pandemic. They aren't really working at the studio, but again, that's stuff for later. Let's continue reading. Every day we hear amazing suggestions and helpful feedback across various channels, and we value it immensely. We read every single comment on our social media team, compiles it, and passes it along to the game team, who does their best to incorporate what they can. Of course, we can't develop features for all requests for technical reasons, but we love hearing your thoughts as they inspire us to think about new content and experiences that we can deliver. But what often we can and do here are just some examples that we added to the game based on ideas that came from the community. The Western discipline, the new horse name suggestions, the much requested horse breeds, bitless bridles, and even crafting was added after it came as a suggestion from the community. Let me see what else to do. We will continue to work behind the scenes on sharing your feedback so we can fix things that aren't working right, and so even more fun things that get built. What this is basically saying is that they value what you guys are saying, be it critical or positive feedback. The best way I want to put this is negative, harsh feedback is not good. I am going to say this. It's bullying. Straight and simple. Well, if we're not negative and not saying how we actually feel, the company won't understand. That's all well and good. You can say whatever you want to say. But when it comes down to the boiling point of you're clearly bullying a company, and these are real people working on content for you and listening to you guys, they shouldn't have to be what's the right word for this? They shouldn't have to feel upset or degraded because they're trying their best in a pandemic. Let's keep in mind with that, folks. But again, I think that's the next question after this is what it's like to work at Star Stable during COVID. So we're gonna go ahead and just get on into that. But before we do, it's important to know that Star Stable is listening to you guys. They do listen. What is it like to work at Star Stable during COVID? Did you know that we are 170 plus people who work at Star Stable Entertainment? There's a lot of us. We work in many different roles, and the company is growing. But it is never easy to run a growing company, and COVID-19 has made communication and collaboration more of a challenge. But we are continuously working to add new and better tools to check in on team health. So, before I continue reading, another thing that was put on the site was that the Star Stable head team did not care about what others were feeling, their own employees, which I find that very hard to believe because I've known this company for years. I've talked to several employees. I've talked to many ambassadors, and that's never once been the issue. So, obviously, every employee's experience is going to be different, but I know that's not who Star Stable is. I know that they're not a company that's money hungry or that is trying to get ahead. They're trying to make a game for that changes the outlook on girls being involved in the gaming industry. And a game for girls, which is great. We make sure to communicate a lot with each other. In addition to day-to-day conversations, we do regular employee surveys, where we ask and get feedback on everything from mental health to career development to current work situation. This helps us understand and address any challenges or worries our employees face in our company. So, what they're saying is that they're actually putting a lot of extra work into making sure the employees are doing okay during this pandemic. Because, let's face it, we're all stressed out in some way or in a certain level. Be it with school, be it with work, maybe not even having a job. And again, we're at home a lot more than we're supposed to be. But unfortunately, we're in a pandemic and it's not over yet. Obviously, there is hope that this will end, but right now we're stuck at home, and Star Stable is kind of an outlet for us. So it's kind of important that we what's the right word? Just be kinder to each other, I think is what is the right words to say here. Alright, so we're going to finish this off. Just like any company with or without a global pandemic, no matter how great things may be for many, there are employees who do not find this place to be the right place for them and choose to find another company. Of course, we are always sad to see people leave and do our best to ask and learn what we could have done better so that way we could improve. We will emerge as a stronger company and culture once we are able to return back to the office to see our colleagues' smiling faces. So, here's what they're saying here, is that they are working from home, number one. Number two, they actually do care about their employees and us, but especially their employees who they have, as a company, have to care for. And they are acknowledging the reviews that are probably from actual people who work there. And here's a real world little thing. I know many of you are probably maybe never have had a job before. But the thing is, when you're an adult and you go out for a job, there are going to be jobs, companies that you work with that it's not going to be a good fit for you. And it's all about how you react to it, I think. So, yeah, some employees might go out and write an ugly review because maybe they didn't feel heard. But what they're saying here is that they are trying their best. And honestly, I believe them 100%. Especially how well worded this was all put together. So, I know that they're trying, and that's all that matters. There's never going to be a perfect company. There's no such thing. People are going to make mistakes, and mistakes happen. And unfortunately, the employees that weren't happy there, they had to leave. And of course it's unfortunate, but not every company is going to be their cup of tea. That's just boilerplate agreement. But I do hope Star Stable will be back as a company together in one office building once this COVID pandemic is over. So, my final thoughts and just overall opinion of this whole hate situation. I'm not one for hate. I'm not one for bashing. I'm not one to tell people how it is. That's just not who I am. But obviously, I felt like this video needed to be done because the Star Stable community is kind of at sides of either you stand with Star Stable or you don't. A lot of people think Star Stable is ending, and I hate to tell people it's not. Because I see tons of new players constantly joining Star Stable. I have accounts on other servers, and I'm always seeing new players get onto Star Stable, and they seem to enjoy it. Just because they don't have a social media, and just because you don't see them, doesn't mean there's not accounts being made. There's tons of accounts being made. I think during the pandemic, the servers were actually overloaded because there were so many people signing up to join just because we had literally nothing to do. So the fact that Star Stable is ending is just absolute crack of swamp water. I'm not gonna curse. I'm an adult, and I could curse, but I'm not going to. Just not who I am. So I am going to say this. I do stand by Star Stable, and especially reading this now, I absolutely, definitely do stand by Star Stable. I am going to continue to make videos, and eventually, after this week or whenever the community calms down, I am going to be back on Instagram. Hopefully this drama does cease, and I hope that my video gave you some insight to kind of what's going on. And if you don't like what I said, just don't follow, or don't subscribe, or unsubscribe, or I really did. It doesn't matter to me, because here's the thing. I've been in the Star Stable community since 2012. I'm always going to support this game for various reasons. That I will talk about in later videos to come. But this is a game that's very near and dear to my heart. It holds a very special place in my heart for, again, many reasons. And what Star Stable said today absolutely needed to be said, and I believe them 100%. If you don't, that's fine. I will also say this: if you choose to make negative comments on this video, yeah, I hate to tell you, depending on how negative you make a comment, it's just gonna get deleted. I don't have time for that drama, or trying to argue, or petitions, or Star Stable's doing the best they can, and that's just the boiling point of it. So you can hate my opinion, or you can like my opinion and subscribe and like and follow my Instagram, which you are more than welcome to do so if you agree with me. If you don't, that's fine. Either way, I do stand by Star Stable. That's the boiling point. And I'm glad this came out, and hopefully the community can kind of settle down now. And this is why it's also important not to believe everything you read on the internet. That's another good point, a little tidbit there. Alright, you guys, that's pretty much it for this video. I hope it did bring a little bit more understanding to you guys, and hopefully the Star Stable community can calm down from this. So, as always, remember to keep it positive. Happy trails, everyone. I will see you in the next video. Bye!